Hi,
Oh,
welcome to the People Gallery podcast. Tonight we've got Chan. Hi, Chan.
hi Lisa, how are you?
Good. So, Chan is our guest for tonight. There's Sandra in the bottom corner of the screen.
What? Oh, yeah.
So, we've got Chan here tonight. He's going to be talking about how he's an entrepreneur or how he's been successful in running a business the last 20 years in Melbourne and how he's moved his business or not really moved his business. He changed. He reinvented himself from the city and then recreated himself in the country. So we're going to talk about the challenges and the benefits of changing from the city to the country. So in the city in Melbourne is the food capital of Australia. We actually have two restaurants that have made it onto the top 100 restaurants list in the world. So it's a very strong food capital. And Chan was very successful in being able to be a part of that. For 20 years, he even got an award from the mayor for having business within the city in what we call the Docklands for 10 years. So, and then recently he sold that business and he's moved to Dimboola. My camera's dead. And he's started a new retail store there in a beautiful old bank. And he's brought this bank to life, drawn out its history. So we're going to talk about that today. And also, we also get to look around the bank, which is something that we haven't done yet on the stream. So we're going to try and get my camera back on first.
I think it's
All live, Lisa.
Yeah, it's all live. So while we're trying to get that working, if you can just quickly tell us about Dimboola and what you started there in terms of the retail store, Chan.
Oh, look, basically, we were wanting to leave the city for a while. It's that midlife tree change.
Yes.
So it's been like, I think 5 years in the making. Research, visiting different towns, and that, we can only do that on our days off. So it took a while. And how we end up in Dimboola was sort of like by accident. We actually bought a mechanics institute in Storm.
Mm-hmm.
It's like a Bible college.
Yes.
So it's a 19th century building, 1875 mechanics institute, which in the old days was like the TAFE. So they had a library, a really big library, and it was like a community centre for the town. And they do vocational training in the old days. But when we bought it in Storm, it was a Bible college. But we put a deposit on it. But then what happened was a few days before Christmas, we saw in our news feed these familiar faces, and we recognised them because we sort of like we're keeping an eye on them, and they turned out to be the ringleaders for a consortium for selling fake tradie certificates.
Wow.
And so they end up in jail in New South Wales.
What?
So, and we just put a deposit on it, and it's like, geez, it's like Christmas is upon us. My apartment was on the market for sale, to sell to fund that project. So because of that, we had to try and get our money back. But then, that was a long battle in terms of the correspondence between solicitors. But because of that, and because my place was on the market, we had to find something. So basically, we had to quickly search on the internet what's available, and Dimboola was on the list. So there was like 5 properties we had to look for, and Dimboola was on the last. So on the last property on the last day, over a 2-day period, and we fell in love with it. It was like this amazing bank building that's red brick. It's in the Renaissance architectural style. It's overlooking a potential new park that's being built.
Nice.
Yeah, really nice. But at the same time, we were a bit not anxious, but a bit concerned that we didn't know much about Dimboola. Because Stawell was 2.5 hours from Melbourne, and we thought was our limit.
And Store's quite famous because it has a famous run there. Yeah.
Stawell, yes, yeah. So basically, we thought we weren't sure, but what really sold it to us was reading about the community comments about the park that's being built across the road. And when I read the comments, Jamie and I were touched by it because it sort of highlighted the community spirit and how much it meant to them. And I thought, you know what, that's probably enough for me to sign the contract.
Wow.
So Yeah, because it was, it's a big move. It was a big risk for us to change our life, and move to somewhere new. So I needed some indication of the people that was living in Dimboola,
Yeah.
and to me, those community comments on the internet were a good indicator. So that's how we end up in Dimboola
Excellent.
as Plan B. So it wasn't Plan A, it was Plan B, but it turned out to be a better project.
Yeah, it
A better
sounds
building,
like it.
and also a better town as well, in the sense that it's more intimate. Yeah, I think it's lovely.
Yeah, that
So
sounds
that's
like a hectic
Dimboola.
story in all the whole process of trying to leave the city. You came across that place in Stall, which ended up falling through. You're almost homeless because your house was for sale.
Well, we were homeless for 2 weeks.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
And then so you think, oh yeah, I'm going to leave the city for this amazing life in the country that's going to be relaxing, but it starts off like in the most hectic way possible. So this would be a massive blessing.
Well, we couldn't make it up.
Yeah,
We
you
just couldn't
can't.
make it
That's a
up.
good story.
The owners of a Bible college arrested for fraud. So you just can't make that up.
That's an amazing story though. Like they went to jail and then you had to try to fight to get your money back. That sounds like a movie. Cool.
So we got it back, so that was good, and it was a blessing that did happen,
Yes.
because we're much happier here.
Great.
The building is it's just more interesting. Even though we fell in love with the store property, it had big features, but I think this town is, because it's close to the river, while Store wasn't close to the river, and then the trees. There's lots of trees, and the people are really nice. So so it's been really good.
Well,
So that's how we ended up in Dimboola.
Very nice. Well, I can see a little bit of the vault behind you, the bank vault, which sounds really intriguing. So you've bought this old bank in Dimboola. Do you mind if you just show us around a little bit beforehand? And then you can show us what you're doing there. We can talk about the business that you've started there. Oh, nice.
Okay. So what you're looking at there is the entrance to the bank there. So it's double doors.
Oh, okay. I thought that was scaffolding around the door.
No. So the ceiling height is 4.5 meters, and then you got the silver Terminator woman up there. Can you see?
Yeah.
And then
Yep.
I'll take you into the vault. So I'm going to open the door. This is the dial. We don't know the combination at all.
You should try and get someone to come in to try and
There's offers. So it's going to squeak, so it's really original.
Are you thinking of getting someone in to try and figure out the combination to the door?
Eventually.
That would be awesome. Yeah.
So we have this retile. So it's called Marrakesh.
Yeah.
So that's the
They're
wall.
beautiful.
And I go to the ceiling, so it's a vaulted ceiling.
That curve is beautiful.
Yeah. So we tried to paint it gold, but it didn't turn out. So we stopped.
It looks gold.
So, it's still a bit there, but we cleaned it up. We just painted it white.
So are those holes in the wall where they used to store all the money?
I think was part of to hold the safety boxes.
Yeah.
Yeah, they would fit in. So we left them because they were, I guess, an original feature. This is a picture of the bank when it opened in 1909.
Amazing.
So, as you can see, it's 250 male customers.
Yes.
That ended the opening in 1909.
That's right. Women can't hold money.
No. And I believe women were just allowed to vote just the prior year. So that's the detailing. So it's sort of like elements of Art Nouveau, but overall it's Renaissance architectural style. Yeah. And then what we've done, we've created, turned this room into a historical room.
Yeah.
So this is the picture of the staff on the last day of trading in 2002.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so when it was the National Australia Bank. So
they were still actually operating as a bank?
Up to 2002.
That's very recent.
Yeah, so...
How did you get those photos?
Sorry?
How did you get those photos?
Oh, the locals. Yeah, so the locals gave us these pictures. Now, also, this is the picture of the building. This one, oh, there. When it was a weatherboard, it was the Oriental Bank before it was bought by the National Bank of Australasia. This is a picture of what it was like before. That's when we arrived. You can see the counter, the maroon, the green, and the mustard. So that was what we came to. At one point, um, there was a group that wanted to turn into a tavern, a restaurant,
Mm-hmm.
but it didn't go ahead because I think they couldn't get the liquor license.
Right. It would
Yeah.
have been a
So
good tavern. That's
yeah.
for
So this
sure.
is a street view of the street in the 19th century.
Yeah.
So that building that you see there is where we're in at the moment. It's, it's quite amazing.
There's so much
And then there's all
space.
that land
It's very
before.
prominent, your building. It always has been prominent, it looks like.
And then this is a picture of the building being taken away
Oh, that's strange.
because they had to take it away to build the brick building.
Oh, okay, I see.
Yeah, so we believe someone just recently found out that it may have been taken to Bordertown as part of a new church.
Oh, it'd be good to see if you could find it.
Yeah, so this is what it looks like before it became a brick building.
Yeah.
Amazing, isn't it? And then this is in the 1930s. See the cars?
Ah, yes, yes.
Yeah,
Just...
so that's 1930s. So then some locals have donated a wooden money box.
That's cool. Perfect place
It's
for it to
really
go.
cool. You don't see that these days. So yeah, so it's all carved out of wood. And then some locals have also given us different glassware with Dimboola memorabilia from different clubs. So they've done that. We even got a soft drink water bottle with Dimboola, which is a factory that no longer exists. So that was really cool. And then we've got a money bag, glass brick from the hotel across the road that's been closed. Also, this Australia Day, we won an award for Best Events for recreating the bank opening. The black and white photograph that you saw, we did a recreation of it.
Congratulations.
So I'll show you this. It was such a really fun day. Over 200 locals turned up.
Oh, that's awesome. I'm really proud of you. You've only just like started there and then, yeah, on Australia Day, you got an award.
Yeah, so all these locals turned up, over 200 of them, and they all had a really good time. So I was...
And now you've got some women in the picture instead.
We've got more women, so yeah.
Hey, Chan, just wanted to let you know, Tracy Oregon, she is writing to us on the chat stream, and she's saying that she used to live there for 18 months on Wimmera Street, and she loves your building. She says it's a beautiful historic building, and she looks forward to seeing it. So she's going to visit you, Tracy Oregon.
Oh, cool. Okay, she hasn't been yet.
Yeah, but she used to live there, and her partner still lives there, so she's going to come visit you, and she's listening to the stream now.
Oh, that's great.
Show us the shop, and so I'm interested in where you were able to find these collections.
The bank manager's room?
Sure.
So when we thought we'd be playful, because the bank manager's room was a very serious room, and you can imagine a few tears in that room. So we decided to turn to a toy room. So we've got a bookcase full of soft toys. They're made from recycled plastic bottles. These are all hand puppets. So
hang on, what do you mean? The soft toys are made from recycled plastic bottles. What do you mean?
Yes. The old recycled, the old plastic bottle's been reprocessed to turn into fibers.
Ah.
So the material here is recycled plastic bottles.
That's beautiful, and that's available for purchase from your shop.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we chose to keep an Australiana theme because I guess the tourist component, but also we are close to the little desert as well. So we'll just stick to Australiana. And then, of course, we've got games. We've got a collection of dinosaurs. So
Dinosaurs.
because we're called the Imaginarium, we just want to have fun and sort of like play with different ideas and concepts and designs, and it's about juxtaposing styles. I guess we're eclectic. More games, pop culture items. That's a fireplace over there. And then we've got balloons. Then, as part of our window displays, we've got a collection of vintage Penguin classic books.
Hi Chan, if we should just pause for just a short time. We've just had a problem with the camera. Just bear with us for a little bit, and I'll let you know when we're back on. Sorry about this. Oh.
Yeah, no. I can hear you now, I think. Wait a second. Open here. Wi-Fi.
Join room.
Yeah, they can hear you.
Okay, hi Chan, we're back on. Sorry about that.
He can hear you now.
Oh.
Wait a second. Now.
Hey Chan. Can you hear me?
I can.
Great. Excellent. Sorry about that. That was our fault.
Right.
Our camera switched off. So we had to change to a different camera.
Okay. Because I've noticed that my side of the screen, when I'm looking, I've got half a screen, and it's got your logo, People Gallery logo on my side.
Oh, we can see you.
But you can see me fully?
Well, I can see the room. Yes.
Okay, cool. Because I'm seeing it from like a half screen, so I guess I'll try my best to show.
That's okay.
So you
yeah, we're fine.
You see properly?
Yes, I can see you properly. So yes, you were showing us the balloons and the window display.
Okay, so we're about to continue?
Yes, we are continuing.
Okay, the last, so these are the window displays. They're just the penguin books suspended. And then, of course, these are the terrariums that Jamie's made in Dimboola.
Beautiful. Are they available for purchase? Because I remember Jamie wasn't making it available for purchase.
It's for sale now.
Cool.
So we've got indoor plants, we've got vintage tins from Jamie's mother, who's since passed away. And this is our pop culture games display.
That's a really good collection.
So it's
just
just
be able to get it.
Yeah, so all our Harry Potters was cleaned out, and then of course they've got Game of Thrones. Now we're entering the main bank space now.
Mm-hmm.
So you saw before the door, yeah. And here we've got Nicola Serini bags. So she screen prints her fabrics with Australian flora, and then she gets it made in Ballarat. So we're entering the main bank space. I'll scoop up to the ceiling because basically it's a 4.5 meter ceiling height. So it's really quite tall, and it's a really big room. So that's the fireplace. That counter, we didn't put that in. That was the tavern group that put that in. So that door that you see there, that will take you to the private residence of the bank manager.
The
So
brown door on the corner.
The brown door, yeah. So in the old days, the bank managers, they lived on site. That bookcase was made locally.
So that was an addition once you moved in.
We put that in, yeah, because it was just an epic wall space that wasn't very practical.
And you don't have the terracotta colours anymore.
Sorry, the terracotta, then the mustard.
Yeah, the mustard. That's all gone.
But it was in good condition. You don't see mustard ceilings that often, so we thought we'll match it with duck egg blue. So we got rid of the maroon, and you can see the duck egg blue works. The windows are 3 meters tall and 2 meters wide, so they're really big. So I'll take you to what we have. Our greeting cards are from Budapest, so Bomo Art.
How did you get them?
Through a customer of ours at Docklands. She's got a relative who is a stockist or wants to be a wholesaler for as a distributor for Bomo Art. So we got in contact with her, and we're officially her first wholesale customer. So Dimboola has wrapping paper and greeting cards from Budapest, and we're the second shop only in Australia to stock it. So we've got Saletti monkey lamps as well, and different frames, candle. Our friend Chris Chun did these prints. They're Chinese zodiacs.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah, that's the mouse. So it's really cute.
The rat.
The rat.
Yes.
Yeah. Monkey. So very talented.
Yeah,
Chris actually stayed with us for a few days in Dimboola, and he had a really good time. He did a special meet and greet with the locals, explaining his processes, because we sell his tea set here as well. And also Chris is doing a Dimboola wallpaper for us.
Oh, really? What does that mean? Like you're going to mount that? Or
yeah, so we're going to make the wallpaper, and it's inspired by the flora and fauna of the little desert, which is just up the road from us. So this is the wrapping paper. So it's the balloons, and that's wild animals. They're really nice.
Yes, I remember when we caught up last, you were trying to find a wrapping paper holder for these particular ones.
So we're using a towel rack at the moment.
It's perfect.
Yeah. These are plant holders.
Yes.
So so you can see you put the plant there. So they're all made from wood.
Very cute.
I'll
have to get some. I'm obsessed with plants.
Then we've got church infighting with the wrestlers. That's a bit of installation art. This is our garden section. So basically it's a kitchen bench, but we use as a, our plant department. Some more James terrariums. What have we got?
This is my favourite section.
Then we've got Cote Noir candles, so all the different scents there. Yeah. And then that's a great Chinese painting by a Hong Kong artist from the 1950s.
Yes, I think that's very familiar to everyone.
It's really cool. More tin. This piece of furniture was hand painted by our friend Russell. So he cycles. So that's all hand painted. So it's got a site called Rehash Shop. So the bookcase, you need to get a ladder, but we're sourcing that later. So that's all personal up there because I can't reach it. I need a 4-meter scaffold. but we've got new books, cushions. We also have these are cigar box guitars made locally by a gentleman, so they're all unique. So, have you seen cigar boxes before?
No, I'm trying to look at them. Can you pull out a
Yeah.
little bit?
So, yeah.
So it's like a
Okay.
guitar, but it's a square. Oh,
Yeah.
they're
So
quite big.
the Cuban
They're massive.
boxes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, they're huge.
Oh, it's actually a real guitar. That's really cute.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I'll have to buy one of them, I think.
Then we've got our friend who does Aboriginal paintings, and he's got some sticks as well, cushions, just an eclectic assortment of books, I should say. Dinosaurs, the mouse lamps. They've been really popular. That's our last one. And then my friend Chris, he designed this teaware set.
So you're saying that's your friend's teaware set?
Yeah, Chris Chun, the one who
yeah.
did the Zodiac.
Yeah, he's very talented. That's completely different to the other stuff that you showed us.
So
that's a nice. Yeah, I like the grasshopper.
yeah, so
it's beautiful.
And binoculars, so 19th century binoculars.
Very old school.
Oh, this is really fun. I'll just show you. That's a lamp.
Old drive-through.
So it's inspired by Twin Peaks.
Yes.
So it's actually a lamp. Yeah. Then,
that's awesome.
Then we've got children who love this and children who hate this.
Yeah, that's scary. I think I would hate that. Good guys, Chucky. It still looks really scary.
So then plants and more books. So that's a fireplace.
Oh, beautiful. That's where we all should be at the moment.
And these are really cool too. These are sky hooks. So in the 19th century nurseries, they would use that to put the children to sleep.
That's a great gift. Just because of the repetitive sound, huh?
And then this is a big Aboriginal painting our friend did, juxtaposed with Superman. Just quirky books. That's a Batman letter opener. Yeah, so this collection has been really popular. So yeah, so this is the Imaginarium. So it's really eclectic.
Yes, it's beautiful.
So it's hard to describe because some people don't know what an Imaginarium is. So that's why you have to come in here and
experience it for yourself.
Have to experience it for yourself.
Yeah,
so,
I'm still looking forward to coming to visit.
Oh,
that's for sure.
Of course, we've got the center table. So once again,
I like that.
Stone.
All the busts in the terrariums.
So,
and is that like a giant gorilla sitting there?
The candelabra.
No, below you near the coffee table.
Yeah, that's
is
a
that
giant.
No, pan out a little bit. Something fluffy. It looks like a gorilla on the left.
Oh, that's a teddy bear.
Yeah. Because there's like all these hard objects, and then there's this like one fluffy thing.
I guess that's pretty much a snapshot of what we're about, really, isn't it?
Beautiful. Cool. Well, yeah, I'm interested to talk about that. So you were in the restaurant business for the last 20 years, and then obviously, you wanted that city to country change. How did you decide how to change into retail? And the other thing that I'm interested in is how you source all of these products, in terms of your, to be able to match the theme of your store. Like you said that you had a theme of, trying to keep with the Australiana theme, and then how do you go on from there? So first, I guess we'll go with, how did you decide to, was it a hard transition from restauranting down to being in retail?
No, very easy. Look, the reason why I had to change from hospitality, it just got too much. 20 years of it, I guess the fun left years ago. So I needed to change my lifestyle where it was less stress. less physically demanding, and less repetitive. It was after 20 years, it just became I guess, monotonous. Um, so, so I needed to address that life work balance, and the country was, I guess, a means to address that. So, so to change from hospitality to retail was easy. Um, this current stage in our life, we wanted something more playful, more joyous, more creative, and I guess the Imaginarium really sums that up. You can do that when you call yourself an Imaginarium.
Yes.
You know,
Yeah, you can
it's
see it in
just,
what you just showed us.
yeah.
Yes.
So we just wanted to have fun, and I mean, hospitality was great, from a social aspect, and there was a lot of good to come out of that because we did fundraisers. We've done interesting events. So it was really, for what it was, the experiences that you can experience in 20 years of hospitality, you've experienced it all. So it's about, well, what do I want to experience next? So it's about creating something that you want to be a part of, for your next stage in life. And I guess moving to the country could facilitate that. We came here to be debt free, so that's the other thing too. I left hospitality because the financial pressure was too hard. You always have to pay bills constantly, but coming here and buying the building outright means I'm totally debt free, and then from that we can create something that we want to create, and that was to be playful, create a sort of like a happy place that we could share with Dimboola, the people in Dimboola, and also the visitors that come into town. So basically, another way of saying it, it's our new lifestyle. It's this, what you just saw was our lounge room.
Yes. Your
So
personal lounge room as well?
Sorry?
Your personal lounge room as well?
Yes.
Wow.
So it
you're
started off as a
always
personal
in that.
lounge room.
Yeah.
And then because it's such a big space, we wanted to share it with the town. Now, the previous owners, it was a private home, and it's a private home now as well, but they didn't share the space with anyone. But we decided no, we want to share this space. We want to celebrate this building. We want to share the history of this building. Because across the road from us, they lost a pub. That pub was a beautiful pub. It was an Art Deco pub, and that burnt down. And there were a lot of memories for the locals, who attended that pub. So now that's gone. It's going to be turned into a park soon. So that, I guess, highlighted to us the importance of heritage. So we're the new custodians of this building. So our job is to restore this building, and in the process of restoring it, we're putting love into it, and people can see that. But we're also sharing this building. So when you come here as a customer, you're actually entering our home. So therefore, it's blurred between a customer and a guest. So because it is our lounge room,
treat them like a guest then.
Because they've come into our personal space, but that just happens to be a shop.
So how do you then, because it is your work and home, then how do you differentiate between the two, between work and living?
Well, that door, if I enter that door that I showed you before, that becomes a private domain.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yes, of course.
Yeah. So, don't forget, I've still got upstairs and what's behind that door. So, I guess when we didn't have it as a shop, we were still setting up. We sort of hang out in this room a lot. But since having it as a shop, to separate it, I would spend after shop hours in the back part of the house. Yeah, because there's still there's still a little dining room. There's still other rooms, the backyard. Yeah. So it's a big place. So
you have enough space to separate yourself. But if you want to enjoy your lounge, which is where the retail store is, you can do that too, and you can still. I can still do
that. All I have to do is just dim the lights, put the candles on, and the fire's going. You know what I mean? So it's about just changing the lighting. Yeah. So we have more candles going, and sit by the fire in winter.
Yeah, the fire looks perfect.
Yeah. So it's the same backdrop as you would have if you're at home anyway. It's just that we've got just a little bit more, for selling purposes. That's all. But it's stuff that we originally wanted because we like it. So to answer the other question, what's the criteria? Our basic criteria was that we have to like it, and it also has to blend in our living space.
Yeah.
So so it's like a pseudo museum come shop.
It is,
You know,
essentially. With all those photos of the history of the bank, it's definitely a museum.
and then you've got just all the different eclectic elements of it. So I guess the style is I guess to be eclectic. Because we all got different personalities, and I guess we're young at heart as well. So as I said, the purpose of having an Imaginarium is to be playful and be creative and spark people's imagination. And also when they enter through that door is to allow people to experience entering another world.
Yeah, for sure. That like with what you presented, you can totally feel like you are going into another place, but even though you've got touches of modern, little bits of modern here and there, you can still feel like you're in another world. So in doing that, because obviously the idea of the Imaginarium is quite broad, how do you then curate your products for the retail store?
Okay, I guess the priority was for both me and Jamie. I think that beautiful, unique, rare, or quirky. So we don't want anything mainstream or ordinary, if possible. So that's what that's what I like to source.
But with
for
it
example,
being not mainstream, it's obviously very difficult to find as well.
but at the same time, it's about finding. There are people out there who are like-minded.
Yes, right.
Yeah, you know what I mean? So it's about finding like-minded people. So, for example, this week I should be getting a batch of French reproduction 19th century pieces.
Sounds amazing.
So that's coming this week. So that what I mean by that is that it's little wooden crowns. So it's just playful things that you would have that you see in the 19th century vintage shop, but they're all done or created new. So I'm looking forward to receiving them. They're things just beautiful ornamentation from the 19th century, France. So that's an example. So our wrapping papers, we've gone, the traditional, once again, if we can, so it has elements of 19th century feel to it, aesthetics. So that's why I've gone for the globes, the galoshes, the certain indoor plants to create that 19th century drawing room feel. So, because I really am drawn to that, and that's the reason why we bought the Mechanics Institute in Stawell, because that was 19th century as well.
Yeah.
It's like 1875. It was, it was the era of Oscar Wilde. So it's really fascinating. So if we can, even books. I try to select books that are really unusual, quirky. For example, when we first opened, I had a facsimile copy of the Lutheran Bible. So the Lutheran Bible was in German. It was the first printed book that came off the Gutenberg press. So because I like the print and the illustrations and the colors of that period of old manuscripts, and it was purchased because people never seen an exact copy of the Lutheran Bible before.
That's
so
amazing.
We've had that. Yeah, so I don't want ordinary books because we can't compete with a normal bookshop. So in a way, I'm curating certain titles or certain aesthetics with books so that so people can experience it. So it's something unusual that they would never see in themselves. Yeah. So I'm always out on the lookout for unusual things.
Yeah, I'm really impressed that Dimboola is a very small town. It's like 4 hours away from Melbourne. And you're able to collect these, very unique pieces, and people are willing to, whether they travel there just to go to your store, but they will travel to your shop and they're willing to purchase these for themselves. It's like something so unique, Yeah, in this little store in this.
Before.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
So, you obviously have a really good eye to be able to pick these things. Because as you're walking around, I'm like, how do you find that? Like, even that, the silver statue that you've got above the door, like, how do you find something like that? But you're saying that because...
That's just an old...
Oh, okay. Because I'm like... So, yeah. But you're also saying that, in your sourcing, because you start to meet similar people or similar similar companies that produce the same thing, then you're able to start expanding your products to have similar items through that kind of networking.
I still know you really know in I think we all know every shop tends to start the same, and most people well because of globalization. So shops
Yeah, there's a connection issue.
That's yeah, just doing it the same as shopping centers because there's just all identity, the stats, you know, and I just got back from Christmas, and I, because most things I've seen all over the world.
Yeah, well, I think you've done a really good job in being able to curate what you have in like this store that's so far away and it being successful in that sense. And I've always noticed that your creativity just draws people. And you were the same in the restaurant as well. It was unique in the sense that, you know, Cambodian food wasn't yet known. You opened in area like initially in Yarraville and then in the Docklands, both like small areas, and even the Docklands, a lot of retailers and restaurants weren't very successful there, but you were able to be successful because of this creativity. What do you put that to, do you think, your creativity to stand out and be different and draw people?
It's funny, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
I grew up in not liking being different, but it's only when you grow up later in adulthood you realize being different can be an advantage.
Yeah.
So I guess I just embrace the fact that, you know, I was different. You know, coming from a smaller Asian country where not many people know about the food, so I just learned to embrace the difference and really celebrate it. So with the restaurants, it was an opportunity for me to create my own world. So, you know, through the restaurant, when you walk through that door, I had to think hard, what do I want the customer to experience? And that's, you know, that's in a way is world building because you're creating the experiences. So I enjoyed that, and also, you know, bringing Cambodian food, you know, to the Melbourne food scene. You know, I wanted to do that because I realized I was proud of being Cambodian, because for a long time most Cambodians, I guess, don't feel that way because of what they went through. So, you know, with the war, and then also I guess with the famine period in the 80s. So I guess it affects, you know, you as a collective group. You know, I guess in a way it's a form of you know, post-traumatic stress disorder, I guess. And when you come from a country that just had famine, you don't associate that with a restaurant. You know what I mean?
Yes.
That's why there's not many Cambodian restaurants in Melbourne or around the world. It's because of that. So most Cambodians, when they do open a restaurant at that time, in the late 80s, early 90s, they would open it under say a Thai name. You know, it'd be a Thai restaurant, but it's actually cooked by Cambodians.
Interesting.
Because because it just shows you that you know, people don't relate, you know, food with Cambodia because all they remember was the famine period of the Pol Pot period. So you know, that was a big thing. And for me, you know, growing up in Australia, thinking, oh, you know, Asian food, you know, must be, you know, weird, you know, to most Australian kids, you sort of like look down upon your own food, thinking, oh, it is weird. But then when you grow up and you realize, geez, you know, Asian food and Cambodian food is very healthy, and it's tasty, and it's, you know, and it's amazing. And that's the reason why I decided to, you know what, I'm going to showcase this as Cambodian food because people need to know about Cambodia.
Yes.
So that's why, you know, I repackaged it, you know, in a way for the inner west in Melbourne, so that, you know, people, you know, can come and experience the food and taste the food, and through that they can learn more about Cambodian culture and, you know, identity and the stories behind it. So that was my way of sharing, you know, my identity, being proud of it, and also, you know, just celebrating it. So I guess I put that passion into what I did. So, and also I knew that I was representing a Cambodian facet, in terms of identity. So that's why I gave it my best shot. So that when I did create, the first restaurant in Yarraville that was Cambodian, I sort of made it really contemporary and funky and cool, because Yarraville was just changing at that time.
Yeah.
So I was one of the first restaurants to gut the restaurant and rebuild it from scratch. So yeah, so that was Yarraville, and likewise with Docklands. Once again, that was it's a new suburb that's being developed, and in Melbourne's history, in our lifetime, you don't get many new suburbs that's in the city that's got water views, and Melbournians were very slow to embrace the water. But I wanted to embrace the water, and then bring Cambodian food to the city, and also create something that's really, I guess, cool as well for Docklands. So so I wanted to lift up the profile of Cambodian food and culture and identity. That's what I did.
That's twice now you've mentioned the water. Like, you talked about how, you purchased this bank in Dimboola. It was close to the river. And now, you've just mentioned how, the Docklands, it's close to the water. And, you wanted to bring people there. Is there something there inherently that that will draw people to the water? Or is it just something that you're attracted to without realizing?
Oh, maybe just the pure simple fact that water represents life.
Yeah.
That's all. Yeah. And it's very calming.
Yeah.
So there were times when if I'm really stressed at the restaurant in Dockland, I would just go and look at the harbour and watch the sunset, and it just calms you. I think water has a calming effect.
Yeah, it definitely does.
It's meditative, it just brings you back to nature. And I think when you're stressed, you need to have that reconnection with nature. Yeah, and I guess that's what Dimboola offers, because the river is just a few hundred meters away.
Yeah.
And then you've got all the trees. The trees are along the banks of the river as well. So it's just really calming. Yeah, so I guess a spiritual component to it.
Yes, for sure. So in terms of, this is a business question. So even though you are unique and you're able to create these experiences in people, it still ends up coming down to marketing in a way. Like, Dimboola is a small town, very far away in this small place. And then also with the Docklands and Yarraville, like, Yarraville wasn't cool when you started. It wasn't trendy yet. And then also with the Docklands, it was a new suburb. So even though you're new and you've got a great idea and you have this experience, it still comes down to, how do you bring people there? Like, how did you market these strange places that no one would really, go out of their way for until they found out about it? So how did you get people to find out about you?
Okay, I guess I was mindful for all those areas. I guess all three. I guess I wasn't scared to embrace those new suburbs. But I guess looking back, I think it goes back to creating a unique product. So when I created a unique product, say for Yarraville, it was the first Cambodian restaurant for the inner west that was done in a way that stood out, that created attention. So people talked, word of mouth, and that what happened with that was that it got the people from the media's attention. So bit by bit, I think Matt Preston, he was the first journalist to write an article or review about the restaurant in Yarraville.
Yeah, right.
So as we know, Matt Preston, this is before MasterChef days.
Yeah.
Before he became the judge on MasterChef. So he was our first reviewer. And from that, Lonely Planet discovered Yarraville, and they discovered us. So every media publication that were after something new and interesting, sort of like discovered both part of Yarraville, because it was unique. Cambodian food was unique, so therefore people wanted something unique. So in a way, by creating something unique in the first place and also making it interesting, you get the media attention. They will come to you. So when you get free editorial, that's the most powerful exposure you can get.
Yeah, so that was purely word of mouth, huh?
Just word of mouth. So and that led to more.
That's amazing.
Then we got into the foodies books. By Hardy Grant, they do a lot of foodie books. So we were included in that. People who just want interesting things would source out, both part of Yarraville. So the same thing with Docklands. It was the first Cambodian restaurant in the city of Melbourne. It's on the water. It's, we created something unique in terms of atmosphere, the product offering. And so same thing, different media outlets would do an article. So, that would range from, the Australian, the Financial Review, the Age, the Sun, and whatever free campaigns or events that I can participate in through the City of Melbourne, because they've got a marketing budget, I always participated.
So what campaigns were they?
So, for example, the City of Melbourne, they would have their Christmas campaign, or they would have their winter fireworks campaign, or all the typical marketing campaigns that the City of Melbourne would do for the City of Melbourne. So they were all for free. So you just had to participate. So and once again, it's those sort of marketing activities that you need to do to get people to know you. Australian Open, for example, when the Australian Open's on, there will be, you would offer a deal, so that's an example. So, Australian Open was huge. So, you get printed in the little booklets that get distributed. So every little bit of marketing that you can sort of like embrace, you embrace. But I guess looking back, it's because I created something different. It was a unique offering that caught people's attention, and they want to write about it.
Yeah.
So so in a way, the media came to me, which was, I was very fortunate. I didn't actually go out to source these media outlets; they came to us.
Yeah.
So, for example, part of Yarraville has been in the Jetstar magazine, it's been in the Qantas magazine. So they're all like, expensive publications if you were to pay an ad for. But when you get a free editorial, it's got more credibility too. Because you're not advertising.
You've never had to pay for any type of marketing or anything like that. You've been able to leverage free marketing from and through word of mouth. That's incredible that you've been able to do that. So it's
free editorial.
Because most businesses have to do a lot of marketing and have a strong marketing budget to be able to be noticed at all.
Yeah, so I guess what I did was an example where, if you create something really interesting, unique, that no one's seen or heard of, and then also have a good experience, they would pass it on.
Yeah.
So it's really good. So with Dimboola, I'm really keen to promote Dimboola because I think it's a great town.
Yes.
And with Dimboola, since they put the freeway bypass, the town sort of declined from the 80s to the 90s onwards. But the advantage of the bypass is it's created this little village without the big trucks going through. So to me, it reminds me of Yarraville, just a little bit bigger because the streets are wider. But it reminds me of the village in Yarraville.
Yeah.
So it's really quaint, and it's a friendly little country town that I think it's a quintessential country town where the friendliness, the architecture, and then it's also by the bush. So I'm really keen to help promote Dimboola.
Yeah.
It's a satisfying challenge.
Yes.
So I want to do it because it's it's a great town. So by opening the Imaginarium, we're getting the attention through social media, because I'm sort of proactive on social media to try and really put out really interesting things, and that's getting people's attention through social media. And today I just did an interview for the Weekly Advertiser. They came to take a picture, and I'll do an editorial for that newspaper as well. So you just embrace it. You can't be shy. I grew up being a very shy kid, but when you realize you just have to not be shy and just embrace it and give it all a go. You know what I mean? So for example, with Docklands, when Postcards came and they wanted to do a segment on a cooking bit with Lavinia Nixon, my initial response was always, no, I can't do it. Just like with your podcast, my initial reaction was, no, I can't do it. But then I realized I got to do it. So,
Thank you.
So,
thank you for doing it.
but life is about experiences. So I realized quickly that, we only have this one go in life, and if someone wants to do a little cooking segment on, the Postcards or the Circle, whatever, just say yes. don't say no, because if you say no, you deprive yourself of that experience and the exposure and the opportunity. But when you say yes, anything is possible. So even though I was very nervous for all of them, I still said yes. I still did it. It was a great experience. I don't regret it. But that's what life's about. Is about giving things a go, and that's what I've done. I guess I was very conscious along the way that no, I'm a shy person. I can't do these things. But at the end of the day, you have to, because you're blessed. If these people approach you, why say no? I didn't have to go to them; they came to me.
Yeah, that's
So therefore,
right.
if I say no, that would be most idiotic. You know what I mean, on my part, to say no to that level of exposure. So I've learned just give things a go. I've done things that I've done a cooking class at South Melbourne Market. Once again, just give it a go. Experience. It's all about experience.
Yeah.
You just do it once, but at least you say you've done it. You gave it your best shot, and what comes out of it will come. Things will come out of it.
Yeah. So your lesson is to take any opportunity that comes your way.
Whatever comes your way, embrace it, because they're good things. Because we also know with bad things can come your way as well.
Yeah.
Really bad things can come your way.
It's true.
But you got no choice but to take it.
Yeah.
You didn't want it, but you take it. But it's the opposite with that. It's that good things can come. So you have to take it as well. So you have to take the good as well.
Yeah, correct.
So really embrace it. So don't say no, say yes to opportunities.
That's right. So in this, we've been talking about opportunities that come to you. Whereas what about making your own opportunities? So, your history is that you were an accountant beforehand in the normal 9-to-5, stream, very stereotypical job. And then you created this opportunity. You took the leap to start a business. And for most people, even for myself, I would love to be an entrepreneur. All I know that I need to do is to start, but I don't know why I'm afraid. So what do you suggest? This is creating your own opportunity. What do you suggest to get rid of your the sense of security? Because the 9-to-5 job is a sense of security, to be able to leap into this risk of starting a business and having to learn all of these laws, with your tax and everything, to be able to try it and risk it. Maybe risk living your home, even your home. What's your suggestion in being able to start a business like that or becoming an entrepreneur?
Okay. I guess I learned quickly to not have fear. Fear is the biggest obstacle for everything. It is. So I guess once I overcame that, and the reason why I overcame that is because, I guess, to give a quick rundown, after uni, I worked at the Victorian AIDS Council in the finance department. So that was a community organisation. So from that, what did I get out of that? I got out that it was political. It's just all these different groups, always fighting and bitching each other, can't get things done because there's so much politics. So I thought, wow. So that's what I learned from that. It's things don't get done because of politics. And then after that, I tried private industry. So that was a computer software support in South Melbourne. And I quickly learned from that, knowledge is power. People weren't very kind to each other, very aggressive, everyone's competitive. And I can sense, oh, wow, I realized, geez, I don't want to be a part of that. I remember catching the tram, the train, or the train, the tram to South Melbourne when Spencer Street Station was smelling of urine before they did the Southern Cross, when they became Southern Cross. And I remember, it was winter, everyone's wearing dark coats, marching like ants into work. And I realized, how miserable is this? I don't want to be a part of that. So what, for me, is knowing what I didn't want. I didn't want to be a part of those worlds where, you can't get things done because of politics. I wanted to create things, from an early age. I realized I wanted to create something, something tangible. And when you're, I guess, blocked by, organizational processes and guidelines and, protocols and all that, that frustrated me. I see that, and also the way that people can bully each other within organizations as well. And I didn't like that. So for me, I knew what I didn't like, and I wanted to create my own world where people, it's like your own family. Well, it is family, but also people who do work with you become family, where you look after each other and there's some level of kindness and respect. And that, I had to create that. You know, I knew I didn't want to be a part of, you know, the private industry and also the government organizations. So I knew early on I had to create something for myself. When I was at Victoria, I knew I was frustrated with the office because I had a little breakdown, but my breakdown is not other people's breakdown. I remember throwing a pen across the room. So that was my breakdown. So it's like,
it's still a big deal though to do that in an office. Like it's a big deal to do that in an office because there's heaps of people there.
So I threw a pen across the room thinking, is this it? So I remember that day I threw the pen across the room. So that was the most aggressive thing I've ever done. So I knew what I didn't want.
Yeah.
So that, you know, I guess paved the way for, well, what do I want? And I wanted to create my own world. And I guess starting a family business with the restaurant Yarraville, which was with family, enabled me to create a safe little world for myself and the family. Because being, as you know, first generation refugees from, you know, any country, it's tough. But if you can create your own little world where you control that world and you create what you want to create, it's quite empowering. So that's what Yarraville represented, and Docklands. It's just creating these private little worlds where I can share with other people. They come in and experience my little world that I've created. So that, I guess, you can't have fear with that, because you are about to embark on doing everything, because you are every department in your workplace. You are that person. You are everything, from marketing, finance to toilet cleaning. You are all of that. Yes. You're accountable to yourself.
Yes.
But it's also liberating because you are your own boss. You are no one's telling you what to do. You're free. You make decisions. You create things. You know, you have a vision and you bring it to life. So, and that's what's happened with Yarraville Docklands and with Dimboola. So, you know, we had this vision for this place. We want it to be a fun, creative, playful place, and that's what we've done.
Which you have created, yes.
And it starts with every little detail. It's every little detail. So it'll be the color. The color will set the tone of the mood. You know, how you position things, and as you said, what you source, and you know, every little detail all adds up, and that you're building your little world. So that's what you do. So you have to have a desire for that. So, and that takes courage. You cannot have fear. So in a way, you would know within yourself when you're ready, because you would reject all traditional, you know, I guess awareness and formalities, just to embrace what you really want. So I think there will be a time when you say, you know what, I've had enough of this. I'm ready to embark on the next journey, and only you will know that, and that would be at a certain time.
Yeah, true. Yes, that's usually most people's like journey from, you know, the conventional job into starting their own thing, is like they can't deal with having to be told or being confined to those rules anymore. So it's just taking that step and doing it.
Yeah, you have to say, I've had enough. And you're in that work environment, from what I understand, there's a lot of bullying at work. So, you know, officers and, you know, police departments and, you know, all sorts of organizations. And, you know, if you don't want to be a part of that, that's when you say, you know what, I don't want that. I'm not subscribing to that. I'm going to make a change. And that's where you have to embrace it.
Yes. So then it's worth taking that risk for.
It is worth taking that risk, because you say, I've had enough, I'm not dealing with this anymore.
Yes. So just our last question now. So obviously you've made the change to the country because it's obviously a lot better for your own wellness. So for anyone who do want to start a business or be an entrepreneur, any tips, the differences between starting in the city or starting in the country? What are your suggestions?
Okay. Look, we're living in COVID-19 world at the moment. Who would have thought a pandemic will come in our lifetime? It's a once in 100-year event. So what can we get out of that? So what I can say is that this event is going to change the way we do things, and what it's going to do is going to highlight the value of moving to the country. It's highlighted the problems of living in the city.
Yeah,
the
in clusters. Yes.
highlighted, sorry.
Yeah, in clusters and close to people. Yeah.
And the technology has also enabled us to be free from the city. So all I can say is I think this event is going to change industries. It's going to, I think, as you know, it's affecting department stores, movie theaters, offices. Because of the internet, we can work remotely. And also the country offers space, fresh air, friendliness, a sense of community. So if you're in the city and you think you need a change, this is probably the best time, because moving to the country, you can free up your cash. You don't need to go into big debts in the city because it's expensive to run a business in the city. You can, so your risk is much lower by moving to the country. What you can buy in the city for X amount, you can get more in the country. You have less debt, and when you have less debt, it's less risky. Your mental health is better, I think. The traveling, I don't have to travel anywhere. I go between doors. So I totally.
Well, most people are at the moment working from home.
I'm removed myself from the Melbourne traffic. Yeah. So I'm really grateful about that. So I think the technology, I think it will facilitate people moving away from the city, if you can, of course, because I think it's just more desirable. When you hit a certain age, you realize, what's important. Of course, when you're young, I think it's important to see the world. It's really important because it will shape who you are and how you will see the world and see yourself. So what we've created here is because of life experiences. So you do need to go out and see the world and travel. But when you hit a certain age where you want security and stability and sanity, I think the country is a good option. Because you're not paying inflated prices, you're not caught up in heavy traffic. You can, buy your shop outright instead of renting it, for example, or you can work from home. And with the internet, you can get
customers everywhere. Still.
You can promote yourself globally, which we couldn't do before.
Yeah, and you can sell online and at the store, so you're not limited in business.
And you're creating experiences as well. So, people will come to Dimboola to experience this because that's what we've had. Before the lockdown, people did travel to come to the shop. Yeah, as a little break.
And at the same time, they get to hang out in the country as well. So it's a full experience.
Definitely. So basically, don't discount the country. I think it's a legitimate avenue when you're of a certain age, when you're ready to settle down a bit and want stability and security and less financial stress.
Yeah, but those points are really interesting in terms of when you're starting a business. If you do go to the country, you have less risk, because that, like I was saying before, for people who do want to start a business, the biggest fear is the risk of losing everything. But like you said, when you go to the country, you can still have the business you want with less, outlay. So there's less risk. You can still live and survive and recover.
And also you're doing an important role where you're coming in, you're bringing in your vision, your talent, your capital, and your enthusiasm. And what you're doing is that you're not just creating a business, you're actually contributing towards a community.
Yes.
You're actually a part of a community. What you're going to contribute, you're sort of helping a community thrive. You become a part of that. And it's a really nice feeling to have, because, I think being in the city, you lose that sense of community. And since having been here, we've become a part of that. And that is priceless.
Yeah, it's evident. We've got a message from one of the guests that's listening tonight. They said, "Good things have come to Dimboola. Hi from Trev and Kerry Clark." So they must be
Oh,
your
cool. Yep.
customers. Yeah.
They're great.
Yeah, so they're listening tonight. So thank you for tuning in and for supporting Chan as well. We're at the Dimboola Imaginarium.
Thanks, guys.
Really appreciate your time tonight, and it was awesome for you to show us the shop. We've not done anything like that before on the live stream. We did have some technical problems, but when you do watch this back on YouTube, you will see everything that Chan delivered. That will be clear. It was more issues on my end. My camera dropped out. So, and I know for you, Chan, what you can see is not what the people can see on the screen, so it's fine.
Okay.
So I have to thank you for joining us tonight and sharing, this past hour with us. I'm really happy I've got to see the shop. We weren't able to. I tried to get out there last year when you were there, but now we've got COVID. We have to wait till COVID has lifted. So yeah, we'll definitely be down there soon, Sandro and I. And yeah, it's just beautiful. So I'm really proud of you. I'm really happy for you. I'm glad that you're a lot happier down in the country than in the city. I've not seen you smile so much before.
Oh, really? Oh,
yes. So
right.
thank you for tonight.
Lisa.
I'm going to say goodbye, and yeah, I'll catch up with you soon.
No problem. All right. See you both soon.
Bye.
See you. Ciao.
Ciao.
You still there?